Well, now at 5, we are looking ahead to some steamy temperatures this week. You may have even see a 90 in your 10-day forecast in the next few minutes. Have you asking? Have you seen numbers like this before in the month of May? Ross Caruso here to explain.
Yeah, it does seem like this is a little bit early, and if you think so, well, that's a pretty good guess. And, typically our first 90-degree day is, a little bit later in the month of June, but it's looking more and more likely that by the end of this week, it might actually have a couple days where we'll be contesting 90 degrees. If you're counting, it's been 242 days since our last 90-degree day. That was back in September of 2021. If you can remember, we didn't hit 85 until last October. Well, we saw that over the weekend. Now we're starting to heat things up. And we get these hot days each and every year, but the thing is, we are seeing more of these 90-degree days, and we're seeing them arrive earlier in the year as well. We now average 21 90-degree days every year, and our first occurrence of 90 degrees each year has moved from June 15th to June 10th. You think that might not be a lot, but that's pretty early. Our first 90-degree day this year will be ahead of schedule, but nowhere near the record back in 1915 where we had a high of 90 degrees on April 25th. We do, however, average one day in the 90s each May. We average about 5 days in June, 8 in July, 6 in August, and 2 in September each and every year. Looking at our hottest years on record, though, nothing near to what we've been seeing, at least recently. We have seen 49 days with 90 degrees or higher in the year 1955 and 1936. Most recently in 2012, we had 48 90-degree days. Last year, we saw 21 days above 90 degrees, so that was right on average. And the 3 years before that, they were all above average. Even with La Nina, things tend to be a little bit cooler. We ended up seeing at or above average heat. So, Ashley, back in 2012, I was a freshman in college, a young strapping lad, and I lived on, I believe it was the 3rd floor of my apartment.
You remember this well?
Oh, it was hot.
I bet.
It was pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully it looks like this stretch that we have here. It's going to be kind of a little baby heat wave, if you will. But
well, you hope so,
early.
because, you mentioned we average about 1 in May. We could be looking at least at 2 in the next week. But we're also looking at maybe a three-peat of this La Nina, that we're going
Yeah,
into.
and you would think, too, typically we see things run a little bit cooler,
Right.
but hasn't really played up for us here in Central Ohio.